It's time for another tutorial, and we're going to use the Unveiled Tarot today. I'm bringing this series back. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, but I'll try to do more as I go through my decks. I'll pick out a spread and we'll just do it together. That way we can see how the deck reads and how the cards read, but not only giving you my interpretation, we're going to read from the guidebook on how the author says the card should mean, right? What it should mean. So on this one, I was looking through the back here for different spreads that it offered in this Unveiled Tarot, and doesn't really have many. It has a 3-card spread, but it gives you a different way of doing it, different ways. So you can do it to where you use something called the veil. It's a situation, how it's presenting itself. That would be the card on the end. And then you'd have the unveiling, a new perspective, advice, how to move forward. Then it has, of course, past, present, future, material, financial state, emotional state, and spiritual state. That'd be kind of a cool one. But I want to kind of do this one here where it just says change, cause, and effect. And so that's what we're going to pull here in a second. Now, for a question, let me think about something. In this economy, how can people find a better way to better themselves, whether it be work or anything else? And so we're going to look at that as a change, cause, and effect. All right, so it's 3 cards, and we're going to pull them and just get an idea of like, how can we better ourselves in this economy? Because things aren't going so great. I'm hearing a lot of people having a hard time right now financially, rents, all that kind of stuff. Oops, that's kind of hard to do the bridge on that because they slide. They're very slippery cards. So keep that in mind. I'll just basically do a quick shuffle. All right. So how do people do better in this downed economy? 3 cards are going to go. All right. And the first card we have is the Ace of Cups upside down. It's reversed. So I'm going to read reversals. Now, you don't have to read reversals if you don't want to, but I'm going to just because I like to do it. And the changes, what do you got to change? Well, with the Ace of Cups here, what it's telling us is, my opinion, we don't always have to like something in order to bring a change. So the economy is bad. Maybe we have to go do something that we don't want to do in order to move forward. And that's what's kind of telling us. We don't always have to have a new happy emotion, right? Now, I always tell people that you want to do what you love, but sometimes when things are tight, you got to do things that sometimes you don't want to do, things that don't really make you happy, right? And so that's what I'm kind of feeling with the Ace of Cups there on the change. Because a lot of people feel like, well, I have to only do something that I want to do or I like to do. Yeah, but that doesn't pay the bills either. In an economy like this, you got to break free, do some side hustle, whatever it needs to do. And it may not always be happy. It may not always be what you love doing, but it gets you to a point to where you can do what you love to do, right? That's where I'm seeing the Ace of Cups there. Now, what does he say in the book? Let's go to the Ace of Cups here. Boy, I tell you, this guidebook is so cool because it's colorful. And I just love it, man, the way he did the artwork in this. Yeah, so wands, swords, where are the aces at of cups? Pentacles. Okay. He says, or the author says, I don't know if it's a he or she, Jesse is a he, says that the cup emerges from a boundless sea of love and possibility. It's time to take a drink and open yourself to emotional and spiritual intuition. New feelings or feelings long unfelt will present themselves with the first sip, but this is reverse. So you don't always have that new cup. You don't always have that love that you want to do. You don't always have the new possibilities because they're not existing. So again, the market's down, right? So it makes sense because it's harder to find jobs and it's harder to find work. So you have to kind of figure it out and maybe do something that's not really your forte right now so you can get back into that area that you love to do. Now, if you do that, right, stop always trying to find, I know this is not what people tell you all the time, right? I'm kind of going on the shadow side of always doing things that you love to do, because I like doing things I love to do, but sometimes I got to do things I don't want to do so I can do what I love to do, right? And if I do that, or if we do that, then the cause of that is the 4 of Swords reverse, is that we may not always be able to get the rest that we need. We may not always be able to close our mind down and have it at total peace, right? We may not always be able to relax the way we used to once, just chill out, because it's a little bit harder now. So we have to think a little bit more clear and really focus on where we want to go, right? That means break out of that slumber. That's the cause of it, because there's no new emotions. You have to, what the cause of it is to basically, you have to hustle. And you have to always keep your mind sharp and alive, because it's not like it used to be. It's a different world, a different economy. That's how I'm kind of reading that. And it's reversed too, which is kind of wild, right? 2 reverse cards in a row. Now, what does he say about the Four of Swords? He says it's time to rest and recover. This is reverse, so it's the opposite of that. Pull back from the world. This means go into the world and take some time to think about your existence. You don't got time to think. That time is past. It's time to move and hustle, right? That's what I've been saying. It's not something to take lightly, and you must consider the end you are heading toward. It can't be your priority anymore, right? You're making quick pivots and hits to move forward pretty quickly, right? So perhaps a recent injury or conflict is causing you to have to think about the path you are on, or whether you're going in the right direction. Well, yeah, the path is the economy is shit. So you have to rethink things pretty quick. It's important that you allow yourself to do this. But again, the time to rest is over. You had that time, and maybe you didn't really embrace the way you should have and got too lax days ago, and maybe you put your eggs in too many baskets. I've done that before, where I put all my eggs in one basket and it backfired on me, right? And so I couldn't really have the easy road. I had to go the hard road, right? That's just part of growth. That's normal. So that's the cause, is that you're going to have to really move quicker, be more shrewd, be sharp, and just, you can't really just relax, right? It's not time for that. And then the solution to all this, reverse card, every card's freaking reverse. It's a Four of Cups reverse. Is like, you can't really just be drowning anymore. You can't like be in a pity party mode. So since the reverse is like, now you're ready to accept it and embrace it and move forward and run with it at a pretty quick pace. And so that's the solution, is that you just got to go. You can't really get caught up in your feelings, because the feeling is, they're false. So even though people say, well, your feelings mean everything, not really, because the feelings aren't really based on fact. They're based on emotion. And when you're in a crisis mode, you got to get clarity, the swords, move through it in a quick way to realize that I am more than what I think I am. I am more than what you're telling me that I am. I don't need to sit here and worry. I can just pick up and go, because the world wants you to think that you're nothing. That's the game, right? They want you to think that you're just all supposed to be in this pity party nonsense. You're not. You define who you are. And that's why the Four of Cups upside down, because you don't have to only look at what's in front of you. You also can look at the possibilities coming at you. That's the whole point. That's the solution, is to embrace everything that's thrown. Grab it, accept it, and don't get caught up in it too emotionally. Don't get attached to it. Detach a little bit, right? That way, as things shift, you can move with it. Like water. Cups are water, so you move with the water. You flow with it. You bend around the currents. You bend around the rocks, right? You morph into the banks. That's what we're talking about here. That's the solution, is just to be flexible. Now, I know I said a lot to say that we're flexible, but that's just kind of how I'm seeing this. And then, of course, the Four of Cups here says, a moment of peaceful reflection is what the time calls for. And like I said, it's reverse. You don't have time for that, because the water is moving quick. If you can't disappear to a little hideaway for a while, then just let these moments, whatever they can be found, or wherever they can be found, right? You don't have time for that. Now is the time to be aggressive and move. Be careful not to mediate too long and miss out on what's happening around you. See, that's the Four of Cups upside right. But since it's reverse, you're not going to wait around. You're going to pivot, hit, and move very quickly. And to wrap this up, I want to look at the numerology here. You have 4 and 4. So you have water and fire. And so the fire is upside down too, which means it's just smoking. It's like, it's trying to boil the water and bubble it, because it's upside down. So it's not in a more of a relaxed, it's a really fast fire right now. And the water's upside down too. So it's turbulent. And so when the water and fire is boiling, it knows you have to move, right? So you have a 4, which is an 8, and a 1, which is a 9. If you want to attain, now is not the time to kick back and relax. Now is the time to get on it and move forward quickly. That's the energy that I'm seeing here with these cards. Anyway, if you enjoyed this little quick tutorial that we did on the Unveiled Tarot, let me know. I'm going to do a lot more of them. But you got to let me know if you like them, or I'm not going to do them, right? So just drop your comments. Yeah, man, do some more, And I'll start just pulling decks out of my pile and picking out a spread. We'll have fun with, like we did here today. And also, if there's a question you want me to ask these decks where we're doing tutorials, to say, hey, Kev, next tutorial, ask this question. And I'll do that, right? Make it more general for the collective here, right? Everybody watching this, we're sharing. And so I can ask a question that will, embrace more than one person. kind of like I did today, right? Anyway, that's all I got now. If you want to keep up to date with what I am doing, wordswithtwist.com, sign up for my newsletter, or even better, become a member free or paid. And the reason why is because a lot of the stuff that I do in written form is not public facing, but it's open to membership. Some is free, some is paid, depending on what I'm doing. But I also offer PDFs and like that to help you grow your tarot practice or your tarot knowledge. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Until next time, I want to see you in my next tutorial, reading, or review. All right, see y'all later. Bye now.